Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone. I think we have looked at 10 mantras from the 7th Anuvaka of Sri Rudram. There are 6 more mantras in this Anuvaka, so we will take a look at them today. Namah Kupyaya Chavattyaya Cha. Namah Kupyaya Chavattyaya Cha. Namah Kupyaya Chavattyaya Cha. In terms of pronunciation, I think it should be reasonably okay because there are no aspirated consonants in this mantra. So let's go to the meaning of the mantra. Namaha Salutation. Kupyaya. Kupyaya is the 4th vibhakti of the simple noun Kupyaha. Okay, Kupyaha. To Kupyaha salutation. That's Kupyaya Namaha. Kupyaha comes from the another word called Kupa. Kupa means a well. You know, where well for water. So Kupyaha means one who is in the well or one who is the well. You know, whichever way you want to look at it. So that is Kupyaha. So we are seeing Rudra, or the mantra is describing the Rudra as one who is in the well or who is the well, or the water in the well. You know, that's when we refer to the well, we are referring to the water in the well, because we have seen all the previous mantras also refer to various forms of water. So when we say it's a well, so we are referring to the water. There's no well without water. Then it's not a well. If it is not, if there's no water. Okay. So Kupyaha is the one who is in the well, or who is the well, or the water in the well. Kupyaya Nama means to this Kupyaha, our salutation. Then the next one is Avatyaya. Okay. There's Santhi, because Cha plus Avatyaya becomes Chavatyaya. So that is Cha plus Avatyaya becomes Chavatyaya. The Cha plus A becomes Cha. So Avatyaya means it's again the 4th vibhakti or 4th noun form of the simple noun Avatyaha. Avatyaha. So Avatyaha basically means any ditch with water. Water in a ditch, small ditch. So water can be in the well, water can be in a ditch. That here also the Lord is present. So that's the way the rishis are seeing. So the Lord is giving them the darshan, I could say, the kupya also. So they reveal, the Lord is revealing even there. So they bow down to that Avatyaha. Avatyaha means one who is in the ditch. So Avatyaya Namaha means, oh the Lord who is in the ditches, to you our salutation. Okay, salutation to the one who is in the well, who is in wells, and one who is in ditches. So I just picked up a couple of excerpts, so we'll look at them. In this context, 2 points have to be noted. There were 2 brothers, Jnanadeva and Bhaktideva. Both were going on a journey. On the way, they felt thirsty. Bhaktideva asked Jnanadeva, I am thirsty, but I cannot see water anywhere. Jnanadeva said, let us see whether there is any well nearby. After going some distance, they noticed an old well with water deep at the bottom. Jnanadeva declared, Jnanat eva tu kaivalyam. Basically, only through jnana, that is, eva means only, jnanat eva, only through jnana. Tu, indeed, kaivalyam. So, kaivalyam is actually, the translation doesn't give it. Kaivalya is becoming to that state of kevala mukti, that's becoming one with the Lord, is kaivalyam. So, Jnanadeva is saying, only through jnana, kaivalyam is achieved. What he means is, even that can be achieved with jnana. So, he is saying that, so when that can be achieved, what about this water? So he immediately assumed the form of a bird and flew down to the water in the well, quenched his thirst and came up. Jnanadeva had the ability to assume any form because of the supreme knowledge of the self. Bhaktideva could not come down into the well. He sat near the well and prayed to God with intense love. After some time, the water in the well rose to the level of his left feet. Noting the wetness of his feet, he opened his eyes and saw the water in the well had overflowed. Jnana requires a change in one's form. Bhakti needs no such change. Intense loving devotion will suffice. What the devotee needs will come running to him. There is nothing greater than devotion. So I picked it up because, well, we say God is in the well means that when we are traveling somewhere, when we are tired, there's no water inside, the well provides water. Okay, the water is the one which saves a person who is dying of thirst. So the same way, the Lord is the water in the well, because when we have gone everywhere in this world and living, and when we have thirst, when we are struck by thirst of something which has to make us alive, the Lord is the water which is available in the well, and it can be achieved through bhakti or jnana. So when we say God is in the well, that means we also have to understand the God is also hidden in us also. He has to come out. So bhakti can bring him out. So water in the well is nothing but God. So that was very nicely explained by Swami, that bhakti, devotion will bring out the water in the well, which is God himself. So kupyaya, to that Lord, we bow down. We will get next Namo Varshyaya Cha Varshyaya Cha. Namo Varshyaya Cha Varshyaya Cha. Namo Varshyaya Cha Varshyaya Cha. There is no aspirated sound here. The Varshyaya is, the Sh is with tongue raised up. So Namo Varshyaya Cha Varshyaya Cha. So Varsha and Cha Varsha, same Sh is appearing. We look at the meaning now. Namaha Salutation. Varshyaya. Varshyaya is the, again, fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of simple noun Varshyaha. Okay. Varshyah. Varsha means rain. Okay. Varsha means rain. Varshya means one who is in the rain. Okay, one who is the rain or one who is in the rains. That is Varsha. So when there's rain, that is also Rudra. That's also God. So Varshaya Namaha. So when they see rain, water, they again worship the Lord. Varshaya Namaha. The next word is Avarshaya. Okay. Again, here also there's Santhi. Cha is a cha plus a. So that's a become cha. Cha Varshaya. So this cha Avarshaya. Avarshaya is the fourth noun form or fourth vibhakti of the simple noun. Avarshyaha. Avarshyaha is actually an opposite word of Varshyaha because a in the beginning, in the front, has the meaning of na. It is not. Okay. So it's not raining. Yeah, you're not in the rains, you can say, but you are in the not rains. So which is but drought. Okay. When there is like a water also, there is no rain also, there that also that heat which comes also from the Lord. So the drought is also the Lord, the rain is also the Lord. Okay, so that's what the Rishis are saying. Avarshaya Namaha. Salutation to the one who is in the rain and one who is in the drought. So in life there is good and bad. So in this world there is rain and no rain. Even in the opposite, we have to see the Lord, and that is nicely shown by this mantra. So even whether there is rain or no rain, it is the Lord. We'll read this discourse excerpt I have, so let's read that. Look at the gopis, milkmaids of Gokulam, and their yearning for the Lord. They never swerved from the path of bhakti. Continuous smarana, remembrance of the Lord. When in pain you shout Ayyo, Appa or Amma. But the gopis always called on Krishna only, whether in joy or in grief. A gopi was moving along the streets of Vrindavan, selling butter and ghee and milk. But she was not crying aloud the names of her ware. She was calling aloud the names of Krishna, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. The gopis forgot the very purpose for their visit to Vrindavan, their very livelihood, their task of selling and earning. They stood watching Krishna running along with a hoop and ignoring all else. They ran behind him with a ball of butter in their hand, offering it to the divine child who had captured their hearts, calling on him to receive the gift. Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. When one of them was rolling on the ground in terrible anguish at the separation from Krishna, they sat around her and instead of assuaging her grief by turning her thoughts away from Krishna, they augmented it because they themselves could not think of any other subject to talk to her than Krishna's glory and Krishna's prema. They sat around and sang Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. Whoever has thirst, Krishna will quench it. Whoever calls on him in the agony of their thirst, Krishna, the rain cloud, will answer that call and appear. You can understand Radha, Krishna's concert, only if you can fathom the depth of that thirst. So, we talked about rain. Okay. Rain being there is also God. Rain not being there also is God. So, as you can see, the gopis, whether Krishna was there or not there, was still yearning for him because they, even in the absence of Krishna, they saw Krishna in their heart. So, in always in plus and minus, when there is positive and negative, we should be able to see the Lord. And Lord is the rain which comes. Okay. So the rain is the one which quenches the thirst. We also looked at the well which quenches the thirst. Then we are saying the rain also quenches the thirst. one comes from above, the rain, one comes from below. So the Lord is above and who is below. All these concepts come through in the Rudram, Sri Rudram, because the Rudram itself is seeing the Lord in everything, and this only God, just like the gopis. So Rudram actually trains us to become like the gopis, so that whenever we are thirsty, whenever we are tired, whether as rain the Lord comes, or he can come from below in the form of water in the well. So this came out nicely. It's so the thing is, Krishna was missing. That's the rain is not missing, but still they yearned and prayed. So that is the way we should look at anything in life. We should only look for the Lord. So that was nicely demonstrated by the devotion of the gopis. We will look at the next mantra. Namo Meghyaya cha Vidyutyaya cha. Namo Meghyaya Vidyutyaya cha. Namo Meghyaya Vidyutyaya cha. There is a couple of letters we should look at in terms of pronunciation. This G is the fourth letter in the K varga, so it has to be aspirated. Meghyaya, Meghyaya. Okay. G. Just pay attention. The next is idyu. That is not aspirated. Okay, idyu. Actually, it's a compound consonant of the, which is the third letter in the Tha varga, and U. Okay, Vidyutyaya. Okay, I thought I would just point that out. We can look at the meaning now. Namaha Salutation. Meghyaya. Meghyaya is again the fourth noun form of the simple noun Meghya. Meghya is coming from the word Megha. Megha means cloud. Meghya means one who is in the clouds. Okay, one who is in the form of clouds, whichever way we look at it. So Meghyaya Namaha. Okay, so that is salutation to Meghya. So the next word is Vidyutyaya. Vidyutyaya. Vidyutyaya is the fourth noun form of the simple noun Vidyutyaha. Vidyutyaha. Vidyutyaha comes from the Vidyu. Vidyu is lightning. You know, Vidyut Shakti also, Swami, if you have listened to Swami's discourses, Swami will say Vidyut Shakti. Electricity is also called Vidyut Shakti. Okay. So when the clouds, rain clouds come, lightning is a very strong probability. So the God is present even in the lightning. See, as you can see, now we are talking about water and rain. Now they are going back to the Megha. Megha, or one who is the Meghya. So they saw the divine in the Meghya. They saw in the lightning, which comes as a result of rain clouds. The electricity in the rain clouds coming out as light, that also they saw as the Lord. Rudra, Vidyutyaya Namaha. See, many people give translation of Rudram. They say, why did they pray? Because old people, ancient people were uneducated, so they were scared. If it rained, they would be scared, so they prayed. They thought lightning struck and people are dying, so they prayed. That is the way many people have commented this. But actually, they saw the divinity. They were going into ecstasy. They knew that God, when there's darkness, the light actually gives them ability to see. Okay, so they praise that also. When the dark clouds come, they're happy that the clouds are there. But sometimes, you can't see what is in you. So they saw lighting the way. Okay, so they saw that as very positive and they worshipped. Okay, Meghyaya Namaha, Vidyutyaya Namaha. Salutations to the one who is in the clouds. Oh, I see. A lot of clouds. And one who is in the lightning. We have already looked at Megha. I think, the gopis always saw Krishna as cloud, rain cloud. I think the previous one, I think that's why I had it here. Saying, Krishna, the rain cloud, will answer. Okay. So they saw Krishna as the rain cloud which brings water. So that's why they always call Krishna Megha Shama. So who is dark like the clouds. Megha Shama. So many bhajans I think you will have. Megha Shama means Megha, who colors Shama in the dark, just like Megha. So he's carrying water and he will give us whenever we are thirsty. That is Krishna. So that's the way Rudra is also being seen by the devotees of Rudra as Meghya. Okay, that which is life-giving water. We'll go to the next mantra. Nama Igriyaya Chatapyaya Cha. Nama Idriyaya Chatapyaya Cha. Nama Idriyaya Chatapyaya Cha. This Dri, this the is the fourth letter in the Varga. Okay, Nama Idriyaya Chatapyaya. So it has to be aspirated. The Driyaya aspirated because it's the fourth letter in the Varga. That's the only pronunciation which you need to pay attention to. Chatapyaya should be simple. Namaha Salutation. Idriyaya. Idriyaya is again fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of the simple noun Idriyaha. Okay, Idriyaha. So this Idriyaha means shining. This word E, E, as soon as E has a meaning of shining. Okay. Driyaha comes from the root word dr, which means it pours down. Okay. Showering. That's the word dri. Okay. So Idriya means it showers shining light. Okay. So because we have talked about Megha or the clouds, the Bhashyakaras, the people who have written commentary, they say he's like the shining cloud. Okay, that means a cloud which sends shine, light down. Okay, sun's rays actually basically which passes through the clouds. So you can see the light pouring down also is Idriyaya. So Idriyaya. So whichever way you want to look at it, you can see, because sometimes we see clouds and they're shining because the sunlight passes through them. Because then they make it bearable. In summer, when there are clouds, though it's bright, when the clouds are there, it's much more pleasant. So that is also the work of the clouds. They give light, but they don't make it so unbearable. Okay. So such clouds are Idriyaya. Okay, the next word is Atapyaya. Again, there's a Sandhi. Chatapyaya. So it's Cha plus A becomes Cha Tapyaya. Okay. Atapyaya is again fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of the simple noun Atapyaha. Okay. The word tapyaha, Atapya comes from the word tap. Tapa. You understand? Tapa means that which heats up. Whatever heats up heat itself is tapana. Okay, or burning something is tapana. That's why tapas means, so you take sadhana which is very rigorous. It heats the body. Tapa. Yes, sister.
Sairam, brother. You know, Nama E Trityayacha, Chattapyayacha.
Chatapyaya.
When you're saying together, you know how we are learning before, the sound has to make sense, right? So when you put it together, the and the the sound goes different, right? So I'm thinking about that. But when you, I know it's a Sandhi is coming, and is coming, but the sound and the word, when you split is different and put it together is different. So the sound, where's the meaning of the sound there? Thank you.
See, the thing is, when cha and a comes, you don't have to say cha and a. Because there are anyway, the idea is you do not break. That's the meaning. So when you say cha, the first part of that sound is cha, the second part is a. So most of the mantras are chanted together because you should not have any gap. That's the idea. So that your question is, when you chant it like that, we may not understand the meaning. I think that's the question.
Doesn't have the same meaning. It's word is different, right? When you
yes.
put up another letter, it's different.
See, the thing is, how to understand that is, the mind should flow through without a gap. Okay. So I think you want to say, oh, there's this cloud, and then there is this heat. Okay. But the thing is, it moves into the rain cloud, the clouds move, and then there's only sunlight. Okay. So the thing is that once you know the meaning of atapyaha, you know, and also it is okay. See, if you don't know the language, when somebody speaks a sentence, also you will say, and also you said, but why is also? Also is said, and then you are saying the next word. Just because you are saying it fast, a person who understands the language will understand the meaning. Will understand. Okay, let me just the word will understand. Are you hearing two words or one understand? One word. Will understand.
Will and understand to come together.
Because you know the words.
Yes.
I'm saying will understand. Somebody who does not know the language will say, he said will understand. What is that?
Okay, okay.
Okay, you will understand. Okay, you will. Okay, so that is why we are learning the meaning. Once you know the meaning, there you know there are two words. Okay, Chadapyaya will understand. Okay, so because you know the word will, you know the word understand. When I say will understand, you know there are two words he has spoken. Chadapyaya, Chadapyaya, and Adapya, and Adapya. So that is the way to understand meaning. See, all of this comes only with familiarity. When people don't know the words, they will not understand. Okay, and then it doesn't really matter.
Then
You say cha atapyayo, you will understand the same meaning. If you don't know the meaning, even if I say cha atapyayo, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, but see, it is like when people are starting to drive, they will say you have to press the clutch and you have to change the gear. Okay, then a person will say, no, but I'm clutch. So when I'm pressing it, I can't change. Somebody can say, only through practice you can press the clutch and you can change the gear. So ultimately it's the same thing. It's just like driving, you learn, practice, then it becomes, you don't even think. When a child is learning to work, each foot is difficult to place. But after some time you can run and you can jump. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of learning and becoming familiar. Okay. So the word actually has the root word tapa. Tapana is burning or heating stuff. Tapya means one who is in the heat. Tapya. Atapya means from there the heat is coming. From whom the heat is coming? From there to here. That means the heat is pouring down. Okay, from the sun. So that is how. So the clouds are there. Now they are shining. The clouds move away. The sunlight falls on you. Okay. So if suddenly the clouds disappear, sunlight is coming. Sunlight which was coming. So the rishis saw everything as divine. So they saw it in the shining clouds and they saw it in the heat of the sun. Because the heat only makes the rain come down also. That also they understand. The rains happen only because of the heat of the sun. So they know the rain pours only because of the sun. So that way also you can see. Okay, the rain clouds are formed because of the sun. The sun is the one who makes the rain come down. They see the rain as the heat of the sun transformed into water drops. But then they go to the source and say, oh, that is the Lord who is sending us the heat. And because of that heat that we have in the rain. So they saw this interconnection of everything in this world as part of the Lord in every aspect. So I have an excerpt. So we will read that. Where did the life principle come from? Where is it going? Who sends it here and there? This is the question posed by Kenopanishad. Okay. It asks, is the power to see, hear, speak, and walk provided by the life principle, or is there a greater power still? The sun shines and its brilliance makes the moon shine. The earth shines because of moonlight. But why does the sun shine? Due to hydrogen and helium. Where did these elements emerge from? Divine power. I think I should have put the capital there. The Upanishads call this power Brahma. Brahman. They declare Brahman makes the world shine. Brahman lends his illumination to others, but nothing makes Brahman himself shine. Brahman's self-effulgence makes the eyes see, but they cannot see Brahman. The mind can think only with Brahman's power, but it's unable to grasp Brahman itself. The Upanishads declare, from where words and thoughts return, unable to comprehend anything, Yatho vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. That is Brahman. Okay. Because Sanskrit, just let me go through. Yatho vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Vacho nivartante means the speech itself is incapable of yataha. About whom? Okay. Aprapya means you cannot obtain. Manasa saha. Where you cannot reach that divine either by mind or speech. So from where words and thoughts return, unable to comprehend anything. That's the meaning. So that is Brahman. So, but the thing is, the rishis saw the clouds are giving us rain. So they said, cloud, thanks. Then they also saw the sunlight behind is the one which gives us the clouds, rain. So they worship the sun. But they also know there's something behind the sun. Even for the sun to shine, there is Brahman, which is Rudra, whom we can't see. But we know that the Rudra exists because the sun is shining. So that is how the devotees saw everything they related to the Lord. Everything they benefited from is the Lord. But they knew the indweller whom we cannot see, we cannot understand, we cannot speak about, but he is there. That divine power is there, that is shining through everything in this world. So Igriyaya cha, Chat Igriyaya cha, Atapyaya cha. So that is how they saw the Lord. We will go to the next mantra. Namo Vatyaya cha Reshmiyaya cha. Namo Vatyaya cha Reshmiyaya cha. Namo Vatyaya cha Reshmiyaya cha. There are no aspirated sounds. This ush is the tongue raised sha, cerebral sha. Other than that, the pronunciation should be reasonably simple. Vatyaya Reshmiyaya cha. We will look at the meaning. Namaha, salutation. Vatyaya is the fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of the simple word Vatyaha. Vatyaha comes from the word Vata. Vata means wind. In Tamil, we will say Vadam. So actually comes from the word Vata, which is wind. So Vatyaha means one who is in the wind. So here, because we have been talking about water, Vatyaha is the rain which comes with water. So you can say storm. Okay, wind is again, clouds are brought by the wind. So the rain with wind is called Vatyaha. So one who is in the rain with wind is Vatyaha, and that is also the Lord. Okay, so Vatyaya Namaha. Next word is the Reshmiya. Okay, Reshmiyaya. Reshmiyaya is again fourth noun form of the simple noun Reshmiyaha. Reshmiyaha. So Reshmiyaha means actually one who is in the deluge. Deluge means pralaya, floods everywhere. So we looked at storm. Now it's all floods. So now it is dangerous. So people may die. There may be a lot of damage done. But the devotees saw that also as the Lord. The floods is also what? When the end of the world happens, that is called the biggest Reshmiya. There's only pralaya. There's water, floods, the deluge of pralaya. So that is also the Lord. The life-giving one is also the Lord. The life-taking is also the Lord. So when they saw floods also, they said, O Reshmiyaya Namaha. O one who is in this deluge, to you also my prayer. To you also my prayer. Salutation to the one who is in the rain, with the wind, and one who is in the deluge. Now, all this time life-giving, now it's life-taking waters. But in that also, the Rishis saw the Lord's hand behind. Yes, sister.
Sairam, sister. Sairam, brother. Here you have the cha is separated out, right?
Yes.
So, is there any rules or anything that will tell us to where the cha will join to with another word or like that?
See, there are Sandhi rules, sister.
Oh, okay.
But Sandhi rules are also based on the sound. Okay, for example, cha a. When you say take the word cha, it's ich and becomes cha. Okay, so whatever comes next to it, if it's a vowel, then there's a chance both can mingle. Okay, and sometimes some words come without any. If, for example, e comes, okay, then it becomes che. U comes, it becomes cho. For example, cha Upanishad means Chopanishad, we will say, you understand. So we just looked at one of the words, Kenopanishad. Kenopanishad is one of the Upanishads from Upanishad Vahini. Also, you can read that. Swami was referring to the Kenopanishad. Kena plus Upanishad is that a plus u. Kenopanishad. If you say it fast, you will find that sounds mingle. Kena Upanishad. If you say it fast and faster, From Kenopanishad. So that is how Sandhi itself forms. Okay, when you bring something together, if they are if they will mix, they will mix. If they don't mix, they don't mix. Okay, so some sounds easily undergo some change.
Yeah.
Some, and there are places where, for example, if you bring water and oil, it will not mix. If you bring water and fire, the water will evaporate. That is the way water mixes with sound. So it depends the quality of the sound which comes, and because of the sandhi gets formed. Okay,
As
so
long as the meaning stays and the sound makes sense, it goes there. Thank you. Thank you.
So especially when you say something fast, is there a chance something will get mixed or not? That's all we need to know. Because sometimes we get so caught up with this sandhi, it has to be chanted this way and things like that. But actually, sandhi basically means how, when you chant, how the sound transforms itself is what's the only thing you have to look at. We don't have to be, if you are close to somebody, you will bump into them. If you're a little far, there's nothing happens to your clothes or anything like that. So it's like that. Sounds, when they come very close, a sandhi gets formed. If they're a little far, then sandhi does not get formed. And sometimes when two things are brought together, there's no sandhi, there's no need, because both are such that they will not mix. Okay, that's the way to look at.
Okay, thank you. Thank
I
you.
hope that answers.
Siren, brother, is it because of aksharas? So each mantras have a certain number of aksharas. So like Gayatri, I think it has, any line you take, it's 8 aksharas. So some people chant, when you learn, you chant with aksharas. So for Rudram also, maybe like 16 aksharas or something. Is that to maintain that number that's from this?
So you are talking, I think it's a matra. Akshara means the time. There is time period for each mantra. Okay. For example, that's with chandas. We are looking at chandas. For example, Gayatri has 8 times 3 or something like that. 24 aksharas you can say, or matras, which basically, if you say A, it is only 1. A means long, means there is 2. So there are counts for each of the mantras, and that is also important. But generally in a sandhi, you don't lose the akshara. You don't lose the mantra. Because, for example, if you say A and U, it's 1 plus 1, it's 2. Okay. But sometimes you last, if it's A and U, they're only, at the end, there's only 2. Yes, that is also, in that place, such places, one merges into the other and it makes 2. Okay. But in Vedas, in the Chandas, sometimes you will elongate it into 3 also. So that is elongation of the sound. The Sandhi actually should not, Sandhi is a separate concept compared to the Akshara. The Akshara, what you're saying is Matra. So generally Sandhis will not interfere too much, except in places where the vowel meets with another vowel. Short plus long sometimes becomes long only, or it can become longer. So it's that itself is a separate subject by how what mantras, what matras, and things like that also are there. So, but generally Sandhi will, for example, if you take Visarga, it does not have a count. But the Visarga will change into ish, is. But the thing is, so the count is not changing because Visarga also doesn't have a count. So it is that kind of a thing. But some people get very caught up with you have, as people ask question, is it for example samyukta or sanyukta? These are questions people ask. Is samyukta right or is sanyukta right?
I think that's anuswara, the M changes
So
into
anuswara.
M.
So there are also no sandhi. That's also sandhi, but there is no count. But there's transformation of sound. So is samyukta wrong? Is sanyukta right? It's again a debate. Okay. So ultimately, sandhis are basically a transformation of sound into something. You will hear people saying samyuktam, omkaram, bindhu, samyuktam. That's a shloka. Some people say omkaram, bindhu, sanyuktam. generally there's a feeling that some is right, some is wrong. Okay, people can quote, but there are two schools of thoughts in that. There are multiple people, each, like if we take the Vedas, each Veda has its own, they may chant the same mantra, but they will have different way of chanting. So that what's called a paddhati. You learn from a guru, then you follow that. That thing is also there. Like for the same Upanishad, there are multiple people who have written how it should be chanted also. And each of the schools will have their own way of chanting. Even in India, if you go to the south, each group will have their own paddhati. Sorry. Sorry. What I was saying. So the thing is, yeah, these are sometimes what happens is there are two different schools of paddhati or style of chanting that also can have some influence. But as long as you know what is, both of them are ultimately, as long as we understand the meaning, the mantra, the matras are maintained. I think it's okay. This because of this, there are sometimes one paddhati will tell the other paddhati is wrong. These are also some discussions sometimes come up. But if you go for each person, that paddhati is okay. So I think ultimately we have to understand. That's why they say you have to study the Vedangas also to understand what it is. For example, I will just give a word, which is all Brahma. Brahma, plus ma, it's written as Brahma, but some people pronounce it as Brahma. That has become very common, Brahma. But I would say Brahma is right. So there are two schools of thoughts there. And the people who chant Brahma, they will take from Padika, they will say, this text tells you Pratishakya. Okay, there's a text which tell how it should be pronounced. So there is one sutra, and that sutra has been commented. People have interpreted in multiple ways. So that also can be found because so these are some of the challenges. But I think the best is we should follow somebody we have learned from. You learn from them. I think the meaning and the power is much more, in my view. But we have to pay attention to the swara to the extent possible. I hope that answers the questions.
Yeah, no, so because Saruna was asking this question why they joined, right? So the sandhis are maintained not because to maintain the akshara. It's not the reason, right?
It is sound coming together. Sandhi Sandhi happens only if you join it close by, close. Yes, the Sandhi naturally happens.
Yeah.
So Sandhi is not an artificial transformation, it is a natural progression.
Okay.
So that is how the Sandhi has come about. But for a person who is learning newly, they will have to learn, this is the way it is because everything is foreign. So that's the way I understand. So depends on how you chant. For example, if you say the word Shanti, it is Shanti. It's Visarga. If you pause after Shanti, then there is no Santhi. So depending on, if you don't pause, then there is Santhi. So things like that. So but then there are exceptions also. Even for the some of the transformations, there are exceptions. I will point out, because Namaha, after that, if there's a vowel which comes, the ha becomes O, Namo. But then there are some exceptions in some cases and so on. They're all prescribed in some of these pratishakyas. So
brother, Shanti, 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 and Shanti, 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 both are correct?
Both
Different
are correct.
School of
Depends how you chant.
Okay.
See, if you say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So if you pause, then it's okay. If you don't pause, like I don't know, some people may have even heard, like people say Om Namo, they will say Om Namo.
Yeah.
Okay, that is also there, but if you see, many people chant it's Om Namo, but then there's another school which will say Om has a silence at the end. Om has a uma, and there is silence. So when there's, if you know the silence, then you have to pause. Then Om, pause, Namo. So so there are depends on the teachers who teach and what they are understanding and how they have learned. So these are some of the challenges we have. But I think it's each you should understand whatever and understand ultimately it's all same as long as how we understand why it is happening and what's the meaning. I think that's the way I would put it.
I think the M becoming N is a Anuswara rule. If you're following the Sanskrit rules, then they would chant the M as N.
Yes,
and the Shanti is the Visarga rule. When it's becomes Shanti,
exactly. Yes.
when it's followed by S, a letter S, the following word is S, you say Shanti,
Yes.
Shanti. It's like
Pardon?
Guru Brahma. The Guru Brahma is a Gurur Brahma, but it becomes Guru Brahma. So, that's also Visarga.
That Visarga, yes. Guruhu Brahma becomes Gurur Brahma.
Yeah.
So
I think
Guru,
Shanti also same. Shanti,
yes,
Shanti,
because
they say
Guru.
because of Visarga.
Okay. Yes. So it was, for example, Namah Shivaya is the same thing. Namah Shivaya. Okay, so the Namaha plus Shivaya becomes Namah Shivaya. That Visarga becomes Ish. Depend on which follows. Because ultimately we should understand Visarga is just air. But that air, when you bring something together, it takes the form of that which follows. See, Namah. So it's air.
So Triambakam becomes Triambake Yajamahe because of the Visarga.
So
it's Anuswaras.
Anuswara, the Triambakam plus Yajamahe, because Triambakai Yaja, that's the way they will pronounce, because that Anuswara is made it into in. So some people are very particular, but people will also say Triambakam Yajamahe. That's also okay. If you're pausing at that point in time, it's so, because there is no change in the matra except the pause. If you count the pause also, then that becomes something. But it's, I think, preferred. You will see a lot of people chanting Triambakam Yajamahe. It should be a natural progression.
So I think both, it's not wrong not to follow the Anuswaras, I think, but if you are in a group chanting, I think it's better if everyone follows the same thing. That's the only thing. But there is no right or wrong. But in a group, if you follow one, then it's better. It sounds better.
I understand. So it's everyone chants in identical way. It sounds the sound produces very not jarring to the ears, and it's very nice.
Unison, then you get the vibration. Everybody's unison chanting.
Like for example, if many people in Puttaparthi, they will say Triambakam Yajamahe. They may not be as particular.
But when you see the tutorial in Puttaparthi, they teach Triambakam Yajamahe.
I understand. So I will tell you the reason is in Puttaparthi, Kamavadani Garu was the one who taught. Okay, so when he taught, he chanted Triambakam Yajamahe. But then what happened is, you heard and you chanted. Then what happens is, people, now Kamavadani Garu is not there. So then what people do is they listen to other places, texts, and they are following. And that's where you will find two types of people chanting there. Sometimes, who have read from the books or learned from other paddhatis. Because that's what is available in YouTube. They become more popular also. So then some people say, oh, what you are chanting is wrong. Okay, so then people say, no, this is where I have learned from Kamavadanigar. So this is where I think the problem comes, because two paddhatis mixing also. And that's part of life. So I think that's what I said. So now they have all print. See, most of the Parthi books they have taken from some other book and printed. But see, they are all booked. Some serious people I think have done it. But the reality is there are different schools. Kumbakonam school, they will say. Multiple schools are there. In Andhra, there are multiple schools of Brahmins who chant. But I think if they've understood then they will know how to deal. It's like an English word can be pronounced differently in London and in US.
Yeah.
But as long as we understand the meaning, it's right.
Yeah.
In India, it will be said differently.
Yeah.
So I think these are problems. I think at some point we have to say, as a group, I think we have to decide this is the way we are going to chant together. And if we chant together, it's nice. I understand.
Thank you, brother. Thank
Okay,
you.
Sai.
Saira.
And I think that one of the problems is we learn from somebody else, some other group, and they will say what all of you are chanting is wrong. You know, there are people who make these kind of statements, very unfortunate. You know, there are people, even our Swamis, they will say in Puttaparthi, everyone chants wrong. You know, because they don't believe in Swami. So the reality, the way I look at it is, if Swami has allowed it, then Swami has accepted it. You know, but unfortunately, because we don't know whether this person is right or that person is right. But just because someone says this is right, then we get into confusion. So I think that is a problem. We have to just submit to Swami and then chant to the best way possible. I think that's what I would say.
Yeah. Saira.
Okay, I think I hope. Okay, I will just go through some excerpt. Such knowledge can come only through a life devoted to dharma nishta, steady pursuit of the moral code, and karma nishta, steady devotion to the duties of one stage of life. These two must end in the evolution of a third nishtha, like fire and water producing steam to haul the train of wagons, or like oil and air producing gas in the engine to haul the car. The third nishtha is Brahma nishtha, the steady contemplation of one basis of all this seeming multiplicity, namely Brahman. The nishtha becomes steady by practice that your separate individual existence is merged in the great deluge of wisdom, which merges you in Him, restores you to Him rather. Many thousands have come today to this Prashanthi Nilayam and joined this unique Satsanga holy gathering. Many who are coming regularly for all Shivaratris to witness and be elevated by the sight of Atma Lingodbhavam, oval-shaped former self, have not come today. Many who have not come so far have had the good fortune to be present. It is not mere chance in the spiritual field. Why? In all fields, there's no chance at all. Such fortune is due either to grace or spiritual practice. Enter into prayerful silence and be blessed by the great vision of the emergence of Atma Linga. So I picked this up because of the word deluge of wisdom, because Reshmi Aya. So generally we think, if there is at the end of the world, there is pralaya, floods, and we all die. Okay, everything in this world is destroyed. But actually, the deluge is nothing but the deluge of wisdom. It merges, you find everything as one in this world. And then that is the ultimate end of human existence. That is the real deluge. And actually, we were talking about merging, we were just talking about Santhi. So when Swami says how fire and water produces steam to hold the oil and air produce gas engine and to hold the car. So these Sandhis are like that. You bring air and it produces something which makes everything move. So that is the purpose of Sandhi, why we bring words together. And so the thing is, When Sandhis are formed, it's not the rule of the Sandhi which is important. It's the merging of everything that is more important. If that is not understood, we will just fight about two joining. The real Sandhi is I have merged with the Lord. If that is missing, any amount of noise, like people say, no, you have to take arati like this only. You have to put the flower like this only. But the thing is, why are we putting the flower? We have to connect to the Lord. If that connection to the Lord is not there, you can put the flower any different way, it doesn't reach the Lord. So why that connection, Sandhi, is actually nothing but I am connected to the divine. Only for that Sandhi exists. Everything merges in the other. Okay. So there, if we fight about the semantics, so the physical thing, but miss the ultimate, this is all empty. So we should understand Sandhi is nothing but merging. When you say the Anuswara changing, you say, oh, that is becoming divine. I am becoming divine. The sound is merging into that. That bhava is more important than the rule of Sandhi. Because the rule of Sandhi will become, oh, this is right, that is wrong. The Lord will say, just merge in me. That's all matters. So whichever Sandhi we pronounce, if we have that merge, that Sandhi principle is there, it is right. Because many people actually have reached the Lord without any knowledge in this world. They're illiterates. They can't read a word, but they have merged because the bhava. So the real Sandhi is the merger with the divine. And that comes through this. And that is the ultimate pralaya. Everything is merged as divine. So people can say, oh, people were scared of floods. No, they knew at that point in time, everything has merged. There's only floods, water everywhere. Only God everywhere. And that's called the deluge of wisdom, which merges you in Him. Okay, restores you to Him rather. See, we may think it is Jai, why did we talk about Santhi? The Lord is saying real Sandhi is to join with me. If you do not join with Him, the rule is no use. Because the rules are only created for us to understand the ultimate principle. If the ultimate principle is not lost, we are like kindergarten kids arguing, oh, you are right, you are not saying it right, something like that. And apparently, Swami always tells the story of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna was illiterate. And he has Vivekananda, all of these disciples coming. So Ramakrishna used to tell, go and get my pencil, like that he used to tell, apparently. Actually, he wanted them to go and collect his pension and come. So sometimes, once Vivekananda told Ramakrishna, Swami, it is actually pension. He said, pencil. So Vivekananda tried to correct Ramakrishna twice or thrice. Then Ramakrishna asked him, did you understand what I said? I said pencil, and it means pension. Now what is your problem? Word is only to communicate the essence. You got the message, forget the word. If you didn't understand, then it's a problem. So it's like this. So sometimes the essence is more important. So I thought I would just mention. But why Ramakrishna didn't need the word is because he's already connected to the Lord. So I think until we get the devotion, we have to follow to a great extent. That shows our sincerity to know what is right. Not necessary to say, oh, that person is wrong. Once we understand, the real Santhi is to join with the Lord. When Swami is talking about, everything has its purpose and all that, So I thought, just mention. So we'll go to the last mantra. The 16th mantra of the 7th Anuvaka. Very nice mantra. Namo Vastavyaya cha Vastupaya cha. Namo Vastavyaya Vastupaya cha. Namo Vastavyaya Vastupaya cha. Namaha Salutation. Vastavyaya is the fourth noun form of fourth vibhakti of the word Vastavyaha. Okay, Vastavyaha is Vastavya comes from the word Vastu. Vastu means anything. Swami will say Dana, Dhanaka, Vastu Vahanadi. That means Dhana is money, Kanaka means gold, Vastu means all accumulated things, and Vahana means vehicles. This is what everyone is worried about. Dhana Kanaka Vastu Vahana. All people are worried about Dhana, money, Kanaka gold, Vastu, all sorts of things, gadgets, objects which we accumulate, and Vahana. We want good vehicles. The Vastu also covers property, whatever you have, land, all okay. So one who is in the wealth of the household. So if you just look around the house, there are lots of Vastus at home. There are a lot of things. So to all of them, we see Rudra there also. You can say Vastavya Namaha. Okay. Then Cha and Vastupaya Cha is the next Vastupaya. Again, the fourth noun form of the simple word Vastupaha. Vastupaha. So the one who is the protector of the household land. I don't know whether everyone knows Vastu. They will say, you have to look at Vastu. The belief is the land in which we build has something called Vastu Purusha. And, they will say according to northwest corner, southwest corner, what should be placed in the house so that the energy in the house is good. A lot of people make a lot of money because of Vastu Shastra, how you should build a house. So Vastu is the land in which you build. Okay, I was earlier also saying Vastu means even the house and land which you get is Vastu. So Vastu, Paha, Pa word is protector. So God protects your household land. That is a common meaning of people. Okay, you have a land, a home is there. Vastu Paha is the one who protects the land. So salutation to the one who is in the wealth of the household, in the protector of the household. So we have household land. I think I have not even left. Okay, so something like that. So the irony is we were just talking about pralaya and how come suddenly there's home, all the stuff is there. That's what we will think. How come they change the subject? Because this is the last mantra. We talked about rain, this and that. Some people say Vastavya means God is the one who has produced all this food. Even though floods come and go, there is. But we also say Reshmiya is the end of life, end of the world. Then what is remaining is the question. Okay. So we will look at some of Swami's excerpts. What is this thing which is left? Because Vastu means something. Okay. If already we have merged with the Lord, then how are we suddenly coming back to household? I saw this in most of the commentaries and quite disappointed because we will think even if the floods come and go, our stuff at home is safe because God was in the floods. That's one way of looking at it. But if you say Pralaya, end of the world, what is remaining that? Okay. So we will look at what Swami says and then we will discuss. Swami says, what can you achieve by worrying? Instead, offer everything to God and experience bliss. When creation first came up, there was total darkness. Then came a deluge of rainfall and oceans formed. Then clouds cleared and sunshine fell on earth. Crops grew life, forms thrived, and living was eked out. But as more light dawned, man's desires also multiplied. Today, man starts his day with desires, but when it's dark, he sleeps peacefully. On this count, at least, man must welcome darkness, since it gives no scope for desires to proliferate. Truth is all pervasive. Creation originates in truth and terminates in truth. When truth is realized, Lord Narayana presides. When the Lord resides, his consort, goddess Lakshmi, also appears. Hence, truth alone can give you prosperity, peace, and plenty. You must help others as far as possible. Do not entertain jealousy, because it will ruin everything you have. God's grace is always there, but you need to put in some effort to earn it. Using a rope of bhakti and tying it to the bucket of your heart, you must send it down the well of anugraha. This will give you the sweet water of ananda, bliss. I like this because this entire quote actually covers whatever we have discussed today in the form of mantras. If you go, it talks about, rainfall, deluge, clouds, sunshine, crops, vastu. Everything is happening because of God. Okay. But as more light dawned, man's desires also multiplied. So vastu, we think is everything is, or we want all sorts of things. Okay. But Swami says truth is the one which matters. Narayana is the person. Okay. And if Narayana is there, Lakshmi is automatically there. Okay, this is wealth. Now we have covered all vastu. Okay. Then Swami also talked about bucket in your heart and send it down the well of anugraha. We start with kupyaya. Kupaha means well. Swami has covered that also. Sweet water of ananda, bliss. What you get from the well is ananda, bliss. That is the water. So you can see in this one, Swami has covered the entire month, all the mantras which we. So I found it very, very nice. Okay. So there's another quote excerpt of Swami. It's from Sunday Nivarani, I think. Who have attended should remember. But the devotee is asking a question. Well, Baba, what is real and what is the unreal? Please explain that too. Okay. Swami is saying the one and only non-dual being awareness bliss. This is Sat Chit Ananda. Absolute Brahma, Para Brahma is the real. Just as the name and the form of snake are superimposed on a rope, this cosmos, Jagat, inclusive of everything from Brahman to a blade of grass, all creatures, all inert objects like the earth, is superimposed on that absolute supreme real. This cosmos is the unreal, avastu, that is a superimposed thing. So we think vastu means all the things which we have accumulated. But Swami is telling that's all avastu. They're unreal. Vastu means that thing which is real. Okay, we think what creation is vastu. It is all avastu. Okay. So what is vastu? Brahman is the only vastu. Vastu means something. In Tamil, we will say param porul. Means the supreme vastu. Para vastu. That means supreme vastu or thing is God. So God is also called Mei Porul. Sat vastu. That's in Sanskrit. So God is taken as a thing which is the supreme most thing. Okay, so we'll go to the next excerpt. Name is fundamentally sound, manifesting as word. In the statement, this is Ranga, when the sound Ranga is produced, the listener turns to the person indicated and identifies him with Ranga. The word and its meaning are inseparable. The two were both non-existent before creation. Therefore, the Atma and unmanifested creation Jagat were unreachable by the intelligence and the world that it fashions. After creation, since name and form became the essence of all this, everything can be grasped by words and meaning. The non-dual that was, is, and will be is the Atma. The multiple manifestation of variety proliferating in name and form is the creation. But basically, it is just one unique substance, Vastu. So this is from Upanishad Vayani chapter 10, Aitareya Upanishad. So the real Vastu is only God, which is Atma. So when the mantra, after deluge, after everything is destroyed in the world, what remains is Vastu. There's the only Vastu, which there is Vastavyaya. You are the real one who remains after the deluge. Vastupaya, you are the one who protects this Jivatma also. That is Vastupaha. So again, we are talking about sound. See, even the mantra which we are chanting is sound, and there's a word. But this is Ranga, is the sound. This is Ranga. But when Ranga is produced, the listener turns to the person indicated and identifies him as Ranga. So whenever we chant the Vedic mantras, the most important thing is, are we connected to the person or the divinity which is mentioned in the mantra? That is the most important. And because everything else is avastu, unreal. Even sound is, Swami says, name and form is also not real. But have you reached the source, the real vastu? That's what matters. So without the vastu, everything is empty, unreal, no use. So whatever we chanting, whatever we should understand the meaning. The word and its meaning are inseparable. Meaning is the one which is present. When we chant Rudram, Rudra is the meaning. So the meaning is inseparable, and we should right away understand the meaning. And the real Vastu, the only thing which is of anything, which lasts beyond, after even the Pralaya, is God, which is the Atma or Paramatma. And that's what Swami says. So, okay, Nija Vastu. God is called the Nija Vastu, the real Vastu or substance. Now we will go to the Dhyana Shloka. There's a Dhyana Shloka. I think we'll have some time to cover it. I hope it's okay. We'll go through it reasonably quickly. Jatabhir lambhamanabhir nityandhabhaya pradam. So it's, you may say, oh, so many words are there. Jatabhihi lambhamanabhi nityantam abhaya pradam. Okay, so and it's all one, so many santhis here. Jatabhir lambhamanabhir nityantam abhaya pradam. Okay. Devam Suchismitam Dhyayet Vyaghra Charma Parishkritam. Devam Suchirsmitam Dhyayet Vyaghra Charma Parishkritam. Okay. We look at the meaning. Jatabhihi means, okay, we'll look at the meaning and then the words are all here anyway. One should meditate Dhyayet. As you can see, Dhyayet comes here. Okay. One should meditate on Mahadeva, Devam, who dances Nrityantam. So the Nrityantam word is here, Nrityantam Abhayapradam. So that's a Nrityantam. Who is dancing, okay, who dances. Jatabihi, Jatabihi, hanging, Lambamanabihi. So that means when he is dancing, the Jata is also dancing. Okay, the tresses are also dancing, hanging and dancing, swinging, you can say. Okay, swinging. Grants freedom from abhaya pradam. So nrityantam abhaya pradam, one who grants fearlessness. Okay, so he grants freedom from fear. Fearlessness is abhaya. He gives you prada, means one who gives abhaya pradam. Has a gentle smile. Suchi smita. Smita means to smile. Suchi means very clean. You can say gentle smile. Suchi smitam. Here, Vyayet Vyaghra Charma Parishkrita. Okay, Vyaghra means tiger. Charma means skin. Parishkrita means who was wrapped himself in tiger skin. Okay, that's the meaning of this. So that's the way the Rishi is visualized while chanting this mantra of Shiva. Okay. Then we just one last excerpt from Swami's discourse. The Shiva consciousness is all pervading. How can we limit it to a particular time and place? Sarvata Panipatam Tat Sarvatokshi Shiromukam Sarvata Shrutimalloke Sarvamavritya Tishtati. Okay, we can look at the Sanskrit, but I will come back. If we carefully analyze this aspect once, it will be obvious that all that we witness around is Shiva consciousness and nothing else. Shiva does not mean a particular form with matted hair and tiger skin. Wherever we look and whichever form we come across, whether a child or an elderly person, whether a woman or a man, in every form, the Shiva consciousness is resplendent. How can you describe that all-pervading Shiva consciousness or limit it to a particular time and space? Okay, because tiger skin. So Shiva does not mean a particular form with a matted hair and tiger skin, but he wears that also. Okay, so I thought we look at Sarvata, means everywhere. Okay, Pani Padam. Pani is hand, feet. So his feet is everywhere. Feet and hands are everywhere. Tat Sarvatokshi. Everywhere his eyes are. So you can see everything. Shiro Mukham means head and face, but mouth. Sarvata Shrutimalloke. Sarvatam everywhere. Shrutimalloke. Shruti means to listen. His ears is everything. Sarvam Avritya Tishtati. He just covers, permeates everything and he exists. So that is Shiva, which we saw all these mantras describe this Lord who is present in everything, everywhere as a Shiva consciousness. That is why that is the Shiva. Okay, he wears. So he's described as Jata and tiger skin. But Swami is saying, even though don't think it is just only this form is Shiva. The Shiva pervades everything in this world. All pervading Shiva consciousness and is present in every form in this world. So this is what we have covered so far. This is the end of 7th Anuvaka. We're going to go to an Anuvaka which is considered the most auspicious, which is the 8th Anuvaka. That Anuvaka contains the most auspicious mantra called Namah Shivaya. So we will take that up from next week. Swami has helped us to get this far, so I think he will help us with that. I'm looking forward to the 8th Anuvaka because of Namah Shivaya, because they say among the Vedas, Rudram is the center, the most important. Within Rudram, the Namah Shivaya, the mantra, is the most auspicious. That's why Rudram is so considered so auspicious by everyone. So we will go to the 8th chapter from next 8th Anuvaka from next week. So I will stop here. If there are any questions and if I know the answer, I will share. Yes, Sairam Kalyan.
Uncle, just a few quick questions. In the Dhyana shloka, it says nrityanta. Is it like nritya and anta, or
One who is, see, nrityanta means, see, anta has one meaning, which is end. But in this case, nrityanta is nrityanta means one who is dancing.
okay?
Okay. Yes, if you say nritya, because then you can't say nrityanta, because then it becomes nrityanta.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If you say nritya and anta, then it becomes nrityanta. So it's nrityanta.
Okay.
It's something like balavat type of thing. It's one who is dancing, one who is performing that action is nrityanta.
And isn't that like when Shiva dances? That's like that's what causes the dissolution.
Yes, you can say that also. Yes. But I think let me look at it, Kalyani. Then if it's anta, then it has to be nriti anta. But let me, now you have opened something up for me to look and study. Okay, so I will take a look at it, do some research and come back. Okay, thank you.
And then just one other thing for idriyaya, the
Yes,
dhru there, that's the same. Is that the same root as for dharma and dhridam, the same dhru?
See, yeah, it's actually that dhru only transforms into many different ways. Dhru means it also supports. You bears so many meanings for dhru. So it is coming from the same root, yes.
Okay, and in this context, it means flow or
Yes,
pour down.
that's my understanding. But I will again take a look at that also.
Thank you.
Revise that and come. But I had just looked at it from this perspective only. But because let me take a look at it and come back.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes, Brother Kumar.
No, I just wanted to thank you, brother. I just wanted to let you know about the Anuvaka 8. I know there are some Tamils here. I mean, if they can read the Namachivaya Padigam of Tirunavakarasa,
Okay.
Sottunai Vediyan, and the whole thing is really basically talking about Anuvaka 8. In that, it's an awesome. If I have done that part, and I am now going to look forward for your and Swami's. But I have also done Anuvaka 8. That's what I want to ask you. Is it required that you always have to go from 1 to all the way? I normally recite Anuvaka 8. I have been reciting Anuvaka 8 without knowing that's part of Rudram. Honestly, even I did not know. So is it that you got to recite Anuvaka, go in the order, or is it you can just read
You can see, you can chant any Anuvaka separately, brother, because they are separate. It's a separate chapter by itself.
Okay.
In the Vedic chanting, generally people chant, depending on the time available. See, for example, if you don't have time for anything, you can just say Namah Shivaya.
Yes.
But if you have little more time, you chant the 8th Anuvaka. If you have about 20 minutes, then you chant the whole Anuvaka, whole Rudram, 11 Anuvakas.
Yeah.
If you have, some people chant only the first Anuvaka also.
Yeah, because in the end of the first is beautiful because you
exactly.
Bring, yes, exactly.
Yes.
I've been doing this. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's in Sanatana Dharma, it's all flexible. Then they will say before Rudram you should do Nyasam, they will say. Then you do Laghu Nyasam.
Yeah.
Laghu Nyasam, some people say it's short. Then they will do Mahan Nyasam. So sometimes the whole thing will take about 2 hours for you, 2-3 hours. So it all depends on the time. Ancient rishis spent a lot of time with all this. They would do the Mahanyasam, then they will do the Rudram, then they will do the Chamakam. And that is, according to them, is the real full Rudram chanting. But it'll take a few hours. So it's up to us, and the Lord is easily pleased. I think the intention and sincerity matters, I think.
Thank you, brother. I think through you, Swami is teaching us. Okay, thank you.
I'm just sharing what I was lucky
No, but
to.
he's using you as a tool. That's what I feel. Anyhow,
Yes, okay, Sai.
thank you.
So we will close the session today with Shanti, and then we'll get back next week and continue. Sai. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Sai Ram.